Good morning, friends. How are you today? It's great to have you here, and in this video I wanted to do just an all drugstore get ready with me session. I feel like it's been a while since we've done that. Lately we've chatted a lot about the new releases that are maybe holiday related at Sephora or Ulta or wherever, and here let's just bring it back to the drugstore, okay? So I've already got on all my skincare and my sunscreen, and we're going to start out with some primer, and this is that Hard Candy Sheer Envy Hydrating Primer with the 12-hour makeup grip, and I'm really liking this one. It's been working so well for me, and it is kind of a dupe, many people believe, of the Milk Primer. So it even looks the same. It has that light greenish color when you squeeze it out, and I feel like it adds moisture to the skin, and I don't know, it helps prolong the wear of the foundation. That's basically its job. And then for my foundation today, I'm going to wear my Radiant Serum foundation from L'Oreal. This is in the shade Cream Beige, and this does have an SPF of 50 in it. I've already reviewed the products in this line if you're interested in learning more of my thoughts. But this thing has some surprising coverage. It's a nice little product. So I'm just going to dab that in with my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Just get a little buff going there. What foundations have you guys been enjoying wearing lately? I feel like, I don't know, I've been gravitating towards some of my fuller coverage things, just kind of digging into my stash, comparing different matte foundations, but I haven't been using my tinted moisturizer type products as much lately, so I wanted to dive into that drawer today and just grab something I hadn't used in a while. But the finish on this is just super glowy and radiant. And then for my concealer today, I'm going to use the good old e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Medium Sand. The other time I pulled this out, I have a lighter shade. It's the light peach shade, and I used that and I was like, whoa, it's way, way light. This is not going to be as light. This is a pretty good shade match for me. But it's crazy because light peach is the proper shade for me in the hydrating version. So you kind of got to watch it between those two lines and make sure, really pay attention to the color, not so much the shade name. I'm going to dab around on this a little bit with the brush where I can, the foundation brush. And then we'll go in with our smaller brush. But this just really helps like move that coverage around really evenly. And you get just a really quick blend that way. Then I can take this little guy, which is actually a highlighter brush. You see me use it all the time in my videos. It's from Real Techniques, but it makes a great little concealer brush, I think. Just the density of it and the size is really nice for blending out concealer. And I can get a little bit, fuller coverage concealer on top of that nice moisturizing foundation-y type product, CC cream type product. We've also got that pretty intense primer underneath. So I think this stuff all kind of comes together, blends together well. The moisture in the other products benefit the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. No real reason why I'm choosing the original Camo Concealer over the Hydrating right now. It's just I kind of realized one day, oh, I haven't used that kind in a while, so let's pull it out. Next up, I'm going to use what has kind of become one of my favorite setting powders lately. It's from Catrice, and it's the HD Baking and Setting Loose Powder. And this was one that just annoyed the heck out of me for its packaging. When I first got it, like I took this top off and it was like powder explosion, and the powder had sifted out everywhere. There's this little like mesh piece right in here, and it really doesn't keep this super fine powder from flowing out just very easily. But now it's just been living for several weeks on top of my table here, and I've used up what's on top, and it's kind of a nicely, easily usable product at this point. But if you were carrying it around in a makeup bag, if you were toting this around and a bunch was shaking out, like it's so fine, it could be kind of a nightmare when you open it up. So if it's just staying in a controlled flat environment, I think it will be good, but it just does work really well setting under eye concealer. I've loved that. I've loved how I think it helps extend the wear of the makeup when I use it in the T-zone. And as you can see, I'm kind of just doing a little pressing motion with the e.l.f. Small Tapered Brush. So now that we've got things rolling on the face today, I did want to do a little chat with you as I do this Get Ready With Me about gratitude and sort of the habit you can make of integrating gratitude into your life. There are different ways that you can really make it a practice, because it doesn't benefit you so much if you're really saying, I want to feel more gratitude in my everyday life, more thankful for the things I have, and then you do it just like one day. It doesn't really help you out so much as when you make it a daily practice. So I'm going to talk about some daily ways you can work it in, because what it does for you when you are being very mindful of the things that you have and the things that you're happy about in your life. I've heard that you can't feel gratitude and stress at the same time. So if you're really diving into that feeling of gratitude for what you have, you're also not in that mentality of I need more, or I need more money, or I need more status, or whatever it may be. You're more grateful for what is happening currently in your life, and when you are at peace in that place, you're as rich as anybody could be. So when you've embraced that peaceful feeling and a real feeling of gratitude for not just the big things, but a lot of the little things in your life, and you get in a habit of that, I think it can really be life-changing. So, okay, I am going to take this Catrice Prime and Fine Luminizing Waterproof Powder. This is just another one that I seem to pick up kind of hand in hand when I'm using that other one in the T-zone in the under eye area. This one, it just comes in this one shade, which is kind of odd, but it is basically a translucent powder, and I just use it to quickly set the rest of the skin. But one way, the first way that I ever really experienced an intentional move toward daily gratitude habits, I started doing a gratitude journal, and it's a very simple thing. It does not have to be complicated. It does not have to require you to buy anything special. You could use the Notes app in your phone, which I've done a lot. You could write it down in a notebook, but basically it's the idea of just focusing on 3 things, or really however many you want, 3 things that you are thankful for every day. And some people might feel good like opening up their day with this, doing it in the morning, or doing it in the evening before bed. Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, this is the Sculpting Bronzer shade. But the idea is that you're taking time out of your day to focus on 3 things that you're grateful for. I try to think of different things every day. Sometimes it might be a really big thing like so-and-so's health, or gosh, I'm really grateful to, live in this home in a peaceful neighborhood, or whatever it might be. Or sometimes maybe you're just grateful for, the beautiful weather you're having on that day and the chance to get outside and enjoy it. But here's what the gratitude journaling will do for you in time as you practice it. You will find yourself actually changing your mindset and looking in your life for things that you will include in that gratitude journal. You end up looking for things to be grateful for. As you're out and about, you see something and you think, oh, I'm going to write about that. That's a really nice little thing I just saw there. Or, whatever it is. Instead of looking at things and being worried, or having maybe a negative mindset, you're switching it and you're amplifying your positive mindset. And if you're already a pretty positive person, I feel like it just really reinforces the goodness and really thinking about how many things are going right. And it just gets you in that habit of looking for the things that you love and that you're grateful for. Now, I mentioned how I think gratitude, feelings of gratitude, especially like, let's think if you're having some kind of conflict with somebody and you stop, and instead of stewing about the argument you had or whatever it is, start thinking about all these things that you love about that person, things that you're grateful for about that person, or whatever. When you get in that practice, you're no longer giving angry feelings the power anymore. You're flipping it to all of the positives. And if you're one who your thoughts can kind of get carried away and you feel like, gosh, I can't get out of these anxious feelings. I mean, I've dealt with some anxious feelings time to time, and the simple thought or the simple act that someone might advise you to just, shift your thoughts to something else, that can be really hard. You have to have something in mind to shift the thoughts to. You can't just say, well, okay, I don't want to think about that anymore. I'll think about something else. You've got to really shift your thoughts to something that's going to propel you in a positive direction. And I think that's where gratitude journaling actually throughout the day can be good too. So you've done your 3, maybe you started your day that way, but continue adding to your list as your day goes on. Maybe you're in a moment of, gosh, I'm worried about this. I'm feeling scared about how I'm going to juggle like my YouTube videos, and then also doing remote learning for Belle, like how will I keep all these balls in the air? Will I do a good enough job for her? Blah, blah, blah. When you sense yourself having those anxious or fearful or worried thoughts, the best way to flip it is to just open up that gratitude journal again and keep adding things and make that be your go-to. Okay, I'm going to think about something different, or I'm going to actually think about the same thing, but in a more positive way. And I'm going to actually put it down on paper or in my phone, because the act of actually typing it out as opposed to simply thinking it, I think is even more effective and more on purpose. Plush Plum blush over here, CoverGirl Cheekers. But I think there is a real advantage to writing it down. While it seems like a simple thing, I think it really forces your mind to follow through with those thoughts, continue sort of simmering on them, as opposed to just like having a passing, you know, okay, I'm gonna think about this. That doesn't always work for everyone. So my first point here in this video was doing a gratitude journal. My second point was consider adding to that throughout the day if you're having feelings of anxiety or worry or just general stress. It's a nice way to slow down and, you know, just keep putting things on your list. A lot of kind of older rediscovered things in this video, right? I'm going to go to this e.l.f. little illuminating palette, use the lightest shade here. Really pretty. Now I find lately I'm doing my gratitude type journaling in the evening, and I'll get to specifically what I'm using for that because I'm doing it a little differently than I used to with just the 3 points, but it's a very gratitude focused experience. I'll explain. But lately I've been doing that at nighttime after the kids go to bed, because now that Bubba has like a really good, reliable, like he's always going down at 7 o'clock. The girls are going down like right after that around the 7:15 time, and I've really got some time when I can unwind and, you know, do what I want to do. So I've been doing that kind of thing at night, and then the thing I do in the morning is kind of a daily devotional. I have a devotional book that I read. It's a great one from Joyce Meyer, my favorite one. The Trusting God Day by Day book by Joyce Meyer is like my favorite one that I kick off the day with, and it just seems to touch on topics that really speak to me, because the idea of letting go and letting God is something I think I have to practice every single day. Like, I mean, it's not one of those things where I've like, okay, I've mastered that. It's something that I think the Wayne Dyer Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life book really keeps pulling back to, is, you know, just living in the flow of life, being flexible, giving it up to God, realizing the moments where you're not in control, and really recognizing that you just don't have to be in control of everything, because other people's lives may flow better without that interference. I just like so many of the insights that I get from that little daily devotional. Or, you know, you might have, I have a random little calendar too that just is every day you flip it over to a new verse, or it'll be like an interpretation of a verse or a little story or something. And I think that kind of thing is a good habit to get into, because it really does keep you on the daily idea. If you can really get in a routine of when you're going to do it, and the fact that it's going to be a daily habit for you every single day of the week, like, I think that's a really good way to get yourself in that positive frame of mind to start a day. Or you might like to do it at the end of the day, whatever. Or maybe smack dab in the middle of the day is when you have some downtime, maybe during a kid's nap time or a break at work or something like that. Using my Mario Badescu, this is the orange one, the aloe, sage, and orange blossom. It smells so good. But there are a lot of ways I think that you can make your devotional reading really routine. You could set a daily reminder for yourself. If you feel like you're just so busy and it's hard to fit it in, set that daily reminder. Or you can follow different Instagram accounts that actually will put out daily devotional type content. Look into different apps that help keep you remembering to do that. But for me, that really is something I look forward to, and, you know, just take some time to really be in silence and be still. Using my e.l.f. Lock-On brow and liner as the brow right now, obviously. The thing I did want to talk about a little bit more is the way I'm doing my gratitude journaling, which is actually in the form of guided journaling. I'm using this app, which I'm trying to remember how I actually discovered the app. I think it might have just been like an ad that popped up on Facebook, and it's what's known as guided journaling. And I believe I did pay a little something for this, but I am loving it so much, because the journaling, it really does all come back to feeling good and an emphasis on gratitude in many of the posts. And you could also just open it up and write freely whenever you want to. But once a day, I do this again after the girls go to bed, and you open it up and it like gives gives you questions. Like, first off, how are you feeling today? And you kind of rank that on a certain little scale. You know, what's your mood? What's prompting that mood? And then it'll give you a few little things to click on. And then it will ask you questions and kind of make you go through like 4 or 5 questions that allow you to really expand on what you're feeling. And I feel like so much of the gratitude journaling kind of comes out in this. I mean, I don't think there's been a day that I've done this that there hasn't been some like little side focus on something you're grateful for. So that's nice. But then beyond just those questions, it'll take you through a topic that maybe is about feeling more connected to family, or things that go back to your career, past experiences, future goals. Like, there's so many different little topics for each day that it'll take you through. And it doesn't take long, but these questions that it asks you give you kind of a guide for it. And again, if you want to get on there and you just want to flat out rehash your day, that's fine. When I did some journaling for a while, I felt like though I was just getting in the habit of saying a lot of the same things every day, and I didn't really feel like I was having a super great benefit from the process. But this, I really feel like I have benefited from it, and it makes you dive into that gratitude idea, but really pretty deep, because you're really writing about it a lot. Also, it takes you through like breathing exercises, like after you answer those questions about how you're doing, you know, it takes you through some breathing, and then it gives you like a different topic for the day to go through. So I really have enjoyed it. I'm not sponsored in any way. I just found this thing on my own, and for me, it's just been a really kind of fun way, something I look forward to at the end of the day, a way to unwind, a way to be still, look inward, pay attention to my feelings. And so much of the time is spent, you know, feeling gratitude for the people in your life, past experiences that you've been through. But the app is called GRWM. I don't know if I've said that yet. I've never really like said the name of this out loud, but lately that's served as my like integration of gratitude journaling. Like I said earlier, gratitude journaling does not have to be anything complicated. You know, it can be as simple as just a piece of paper and a pen and write down a few things, or put it in your phone. This just kind of combines gratitude journaling, regular journaling, and really like meshing the two and giving you some direction every time you type. And you don't know always what those random questions are going to be about, you know, that they give you. And it's just kind of fun. I don't know. I kind of see myself as someone who often benefits from writing. I really like to write, and it's just a fun little way to get your thoughts out there. It's very good time spent. Now I feel like I've kind of gotten the meat and potatoes out of the way for this video. Those were the things I wanted to make. The points I wanted to make were about gratitude journaling, the thought of doing a continuous gratitude journal all throughout your day to help you in moments of stress, and it's going to sort of reset, redirect your mind. The thought of a daily devotional, if you're into that, I think it can be a great way to start your day off. And then also think about guided journaling maybe. I think it's relaxing. I think it gets your mind in a really positive place. I'm not sure how many different guided journaling apps there are out there, but the one that I use really focuses a lot on gratitude. So for eyes, in a recent video, I used the Profusion Bare palette. Really like that palette for just, you know, a basic look. I think it's softness. I think it's easy, but it's got enough little bit of contrast going on. Today, I'm going to use the other palette that I got at that time, which is the Citrine palette. Yeah, blazing yellow fall vibes for sure. This is the tree that turns bright yellow in the fall. That's what I'm thinking when I see it. Where am I going to go with this? I'm going to start here with the shade called Tea, and it's just a light warm brown. I'm going to get that going in the crease, the creasal region. I love these little palettes. If you are also a fan of these, what is your favorite 10 color palette from Profusion? For me, I think it might be between the Bare palette that I used most recently and either the Smoky or the Violets one. Maybe the Smoky, just in terms of everyday wear. It's a really nicely balanced palette. Gotta say, I'm a little bit stressed starting my day today. Speaking of stress and trying to stay in your calm, happy place, we're doing a little birthday celebration this weekend. I'm gonna see Pup for the first time since, gosh, like the start of the pandemic, basically. I'm gonna see her this weekend. We're gonna be very careful, but we're going to see her and do a little shindig for Bubba's birthday and Belle's birthday all in one weekend. So one night we're gonna celebrate Belle, and then the next day we're gonna have Rhett's 1-year birthday party. So I think that's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna go to the Papaya shade. It's gonna be fun, but like we're trying to plan to do some things outside and the rain chances are increasing, and I'm wondering how this is all gonna go. I've got cute decorations for both of them. Belle's birthday theme is gonna be like an ice cream party. And then Bubba's is going to be Mr. Wonderful. Get it? Turning one, and like little bow ties and mustaches and cute stuff like that. But needless to say, I've got a big Walmart delivery order coming today. So thank you to whoever is shopping that big old order. Let's go to this shade called Safari here. We've got mattes right here. Blessed, Safari, Papaya, and Tea are your mattes. So Safari looks like the most, if I had to label one of these honey mustard, that would be it. And then we've got our brighter yellows. So I'm thinking about sort of pulling that color idea in with this crease kind of around the crease. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that look. I think we might go brighter on the lid with the yellow color, but that particular shade, when it comes to the blending out, that looks pretty nice. Now we've got like yellowish gold. We've got more like this shade called Taboo. Wow, that's a really pretty, just traditional gold. I'm kind of feeling compelled to go to the brightest yellow just to experience a little bit of that. That's called Dandy. It's got a hint of shimmer. I just want to see what it's made of. See, this is my first time using this palette today. Wow. That's hot dog mustard, my friends. Patting that right on the center of the lid. Like, the crazy thing here, $5, you know? Can you do better? Got that on the lid. Then I feel like I need something a little deeper. There's nothing really deep and dark in here, but I'll see how Tea comes in from the outside and helps this. Yeah, Tea's all right for that. It's just gonna gear you in the direction of a very bright look. Light and bright, sunshiny. And then we have strobe lights right here. Very, very light golden shade. Gold Digger has a little more depth. I'm gonna take strobe lights. We're just going big with the look today. And seeing what, that's kind of just a hint flaky, honestly. Maybe applied with this brush. Don't love that shade applied with the brush. Let's try it with the finger. Yeah. Some colors just need to be pressed in a little bit better. And I'm kind of letting that overlap with the real yellowish shade on the lid. And there is another color in here, FYI, called Society. It's a little more orangey, well, quite a bit more orangey. And Zenith right here, very, very yellowish gold. So many takes on yellow and a few little supporting shades to help out in the crease. Let's take a little bit of Blessed. Blessed is just like a slightly toned down version of Dandy. See what that looks like, kind of patted over the lid. I wouldn't normally pat a matte on with my fingers, but I'm just in a playful mode right here. Fun, I like that look, and it really does make me think fall. Now this is the eyeliner that I can't put down. It's the Breakup Proof from Wet n Wild little brush tip applicator. This is the one where I was like in the Selena Gomez Rare Beauty video and I'm using her brush tip and I'm like, yeah, but the Wet n Wild is a heck of a lot cheaper and really performs well. So I'm going for kind of a nice strong wing all across the lash line first. I could have done Selena's tip where she does the wing first because that did work for me, but I didn't think about it till now. Love that, that's satisfying. So if you guys get a palette, like let's say you've got the Citrine palette, do you make it your mission to use that palette and that palette alone? Or are you a palette combiner? And do you like doing that? Do you like combining different eye palettes? Like, you know, dabbling in this one and that one? What are your palette habits? That's my question. Because for me, I think a lot of times I'm in testing mode, right? So I want to test a palette and see what can you do all on your own? What kind of look will you give with nothing else added? Maybe it's because in my earlier YouTube days, I'd seen videos where somebody's talking about a palette and I'm interested in that one, but then they bring in 2 other palettes that I don't have to complete the look, and it's just kind of frustrating because like I just want to know how to use the one. So maybe that's just something I think about, but I like to see just what one palette gives you. But if you had Citrine and then let's say maybe you also had the Bare palette or you had the Smoky palette, you could certainly combine. I'm not against it. I just don't often find myself doing that, especially if I'm in a mode of trying to see what a product's made of. Okay, we're winged. And then I am going to cheat on the drugstore for a second and grab my ABH pencil because I want some brightness right down in here in the lower inner rim. Love that product. May even take the shimmery side right now because I didn't really encircle my inner corner. I'm going to do a two-step lash today. I'm going to prime it with the Essence Volume Booster, and then I'm going to put the Lash Princess on top. Sometimes, I will say, I never really put the Lash Princess on the lower lashes. Sometimes when I've got it on the upper lashes and that's all that's going on, it will occasionally smudge down below. It's kind of crazy. Like, I'm not sure how it's all happening, but it's not a completely smudge-proof mascara, but I do love the look of it on my eyes. Okay, so primer first. Think about just a couple strokes through and then let it be. Less is totally more when it comes to lash primer, I've found. Okay, there we are, just a couple swipes through. And then, guys, don't forget, if you have a ton of mascara smudges when you're putting on mascara, like little mistakes and stuff, hitting yourself on the eyelid or the brow bone, look down. Like, literally hold your mirror under your nose and look down. It exposes the entire lash from root to tip, and you will be much less likely to hit yourself on the skin with your mascara wand. What kind of lips should we do for this? I need to do like a live stream where you totally steer me on the whole look. Wouldn't that be nice? It'd be fun. I think I want to use one, if not both, of my new lip liners from Milani. Milani lip liners have been some of the things that, like, I've loved them so much from their line. Just the standard ones. They're like a very basic pencil, and I have one called Spice, and it's like awesome. I use it often. But I saw these Understatement lip liners on Ulta's website, and I got Cinnamon Statement, and I also got the one called Nude Entrance. So let's just check it out. Little retractable action there. Should I balm it up first? Well, they're not feeling too dry. Let's just see. Ooh, it's really smooth. This reminds me so much of Spice. It's really, really smooth. Gorgeous color, the kind of shade I would get a ton of use out of just with different neutral lip looks. But then on top of this, I think I'm going to take, because I haven't experimented with it a ton, my Lifter Gloss in the shade Topaz. This, I feel, is a lot like the Fenty Gloss Bombs, which I'm not the hugest fan of, but it comes out, it's a pretty big doe foot with a ton of product on it. Let's get rid of some. On its own, this is a pretty sheer gloss. I do like it over the top. Control the amount of product you get on. Feels nice and smooth. I like the shine. It smells like a little bit sweet, maybe just a hint of coconut. Is that what I'm smelling? Well, friends, we're done. This is how the look turned out, my all drugstore look. I'm really liking this pop of fall color on the eyes today. I'm finding it to be very wearable. I'm kind of liking that it didn't go in like a really dark outer corner direction, you know, but it's just kind of subtle definition from those sort of warm orangey mattes and then that yellow on the lid. I love that. Simply defined by some mascara, some eyeliner. The skin, I think, is looking really good today, and it's not feeling too tacky. It's kind of got a little tackiness with that L'Oreal Serum foundation-y type stuff underneath. You know, it does carry quite a bit of moisture, but I'm liking it. I'm liking the lip color thrown into. The Milani lip liner is really steering the color that you see because the gloss on its own is fairly transparent. See, that's Topaz. This is one of the deeper shades in the line, and that's all the more color you're really getting out of it. It's got some shimmer, you know, but doesn't show a whole heck of a lot, but feels nice on top of the lip liner. So thank you guys for your time. I hope you enjoyed the tips about gratitude and living with gratitude, making it a habit in your everyday life. Let me know how you're doing it, if you have any advice to share, and I will see you again soon. Bye.